you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, are retrofitted container homes realistic solutions for hurricane homelessness? And in the second watch, post-hurricane concerns regarding property insurance. For our social media question, we ask, what are your thoughts on the idea of using container homes as a solution for hurricane homelessness? What are your thoughts on the idea of using container homes as a solution for hurricane homelessness? Do you think it's practical or just temporary? Share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's our quote.
All right, today's I quote says that the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. This one is from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, interesting quote there, Jokal.
Definitely.
Yes. The theme this morning in terms of your music and everything is thankfulness, is it?
It is.
Yeah, great. And of course, in terms of our quote, the true test of strength and resilience often comes during hard times. Yeah. The first watch after this break.
Eternal Father.
Right now, our brothers and sisters in Western Jamaica are hurting. Homes have been destroyed. Families are struggling to start again after Hurricane Melissa.
Love 101 FM, the family station, is calling on you to join hearts and hands in love in action.
You can make a difference today by donating cash or kind to help rebuild lives.
We're collecting non-perishable food items,
Bottled water,
baby supplies,
hygiene products,
toiletries,
cleaning supplies.
bedding, tarpaulins, and small household items.
Drop off your donations of cash and kind at Love 101 FM or participating partner churches island-wide.
Every can, every package, every dollar helps bring hope to the hurting. Together, we are Love in Action. Love 101 FM,
The family station.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, hundreds of Jamaicans have been displaced, many losing not only their homes, but their sense of stability. And in response, the idea of using retrofitted container homes has been proposed as a quick and cost-effective housing solution. But how practical is this idea? Can container homes truly withstand our climate conditions and provide safe, sustainable shelter? Or are they just a short-term fix to a long-term problem? Well, to discuss this, we have online Courtney Francis, Marketing Manager for Lalace Construction. Good morning to you, Mr. Francis.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Now, Courtney Francis, what really are retrofitted container homes and how are they really constructed?
All right, so the name is pretty much self-explanatory. These are shipping containers that they clean up, put in some insulation and some modern amenities like bathroom, kitchenette area, so you can use it as a home. Now, this is a very good idea to just get the people affected by Hurricane Melissa some
Mhm.
shelter
Mhm.
right away. It's going to be the cheapest and fastest way to get people shelter. And because it's a container home, guess what? It is pretty much very much mobile.
Mhm.
So let's say, for instance, the water recedes and you drop some temporary homes in a flood prone area. You can now, if there's another system out there, you can now take up those homes and put them elsewhere before the system reaches Jamaica and causes any flooding. So
Mhm.
that's one big advantage.
Mhm.
Also, a big factor in whether they can be used as permanent structures is going to be the Bureau standard,
Mhm.
because the Bureau standards has to have their hand in anything that comes in Jamaica through legitimate means. So the Bureau standards will do their checks and sign off on if these homes are good for permanent living situation, and where they're good for, because they might be good for, say, Black River, on the flats, but not necessarily good for certain other areas. Just for argument's sake, let's say hilly areas. I'm not saying it cannot be used in the hilly areas. I'm just saying, based on the geographic location, it might not get the stamp of approval for being a permanent situation there.
Mm. Follow you. So these containers, as far as you know, Courtney Francis, where do they come from?
Um, they're going to be coming from all over, because what happens is, when we ship things like cars to Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
you have a lot of empty containers left on the wharf, because it is cheaper to just abandon the containers
Mm-hmm.
than for the shipping company to go and retrieve, to
Oh,
set up a whole cargo of empty containers to carry them back. It's cheaper to just abandon them.
oh. So we
Yeah.
can assume there are hundreds, perhaps thousands of these containers
Yeah,
at the
man.
wharf waiting.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh.
I mean, you can go online now and you can see 40-foot containers for sale for 100 and something thousand.
And
And
go ahead.
yeah, so you can see quite a few containers online even now by private vendors, selling for 100 and something thousand. And even though at 100 and say 50,000, it would be just an empty shell.
Mm-hmm.
It still would be a roof over your head. All you'd have to do is cut a few windows into it, and then you can, start putting in the amenities slowly.
Yes, and I'm happy you're mentioning about the cost of the containers, just the shell at the wharves. When the retrofitting has been done, any idea, Courtney Francis, in terms of the price range for these units? I know it depends on the size and how many adjustments have been made, but just generally speaking, any price range with the final
Yes,
product?
after retrofitting has been done, I've seen them go for between 3.5 to about 6 million,
Hmm.
because in construction it's going to be heavily dependent on the kind of finishes you use. So if you want to tile it out in very cost efficient tiling, cost efficient faucets, bowls, so on and so forth, it can be the difference between millions. Because if you decide you want porcelain tiles versus ceramic tiles, the numbers add up very quickly.
Yes, yes. You are in the construction industry. Um, how would these homes, retrofitted homes, impact your industry going forward?
Um,
If they were to
to,
become common?
all right. So to be honest, um, a lot of the people that are going to gravitate um, toward these kind of homes as permanent a permanent solution
Mm-hmm.
would not have been able to afford traditional construction. So I think it would more open up a new avenue for new types of construction, and Lalace is always changing and adapting and growing.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not something that we specialize in now. We have the capabilities. So if it is that is where the market is, we would be able to adapt. But what I'm saying for now is a lot of the people that would be gravitating towards this is people who couldn't afford traditional construction and wouldn't necessarily be taken from our client base.
Mm-hmm. So, if I'm hearing you clear, you are saying that you people not worried, not perturbed
No,
about
we're
this
not.
at all.
We're not.
Are there well, I don't know how to put this, but blended models that you have where you have cement plus the container?
Yes, yeah, you have.
How is that done? I mean, you have seen it?
Yes, I've seen it. It is pretty much you building the traditional structure,
Mm-hmm.
put in the container. So you have some buildings where they'll put a small traditional structure in the middle and put two containers on the side and cut out the sides of the container so you can walk
through
from
one to the other.
straight to, yes.
And why would they do that, Courtney Francis? This blended thing.
So at $150,000 per container, you're looking at 300,000, and the square footage that you're going to get from two containers, you're not going to get that in construction for 300,000. So that's a big factor. It is much cheaper. So you get it for 300,000. You put some insulation on the inside of the wall that going to bump up your cost a little bit, but it just to keep the container cool because it's all steel.
Mm-hmm.
So you put on a little insulation and it's much cheaper than building something from the ground up.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. We have more to say on this and to discuss on it. We are up on a break. We'll be right back.
We know you're making every dollar work harder, choosing carefully, buying what you need, and making it stretch as far as you can. That's why Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets. It's our way of helping you sweeten moments together, share more meals, and take care of the people you love. Make a good move with 20% savings from Grace.
Mama work hard, for real. She do the most to send me and my brother go school. So, the dream was always to go to university. Well, I fulfilled two dreams with one Jane Bank savings plan, you know. I further my education and I make mama proud.
Save so you can make the par, travel par, graduate like a star.
Stop wishing you could. With your Jane Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jane Bank will help you find a way.
Yes, Lord.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And it's the first watch. We are asking, are retrofitted container homes realistic solutions for hurricane homelessness? And in so doing, we have online Courtney Francis, marketing manager for Lalace Construction. Still with us, Mr. Francis?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Now, what's your response to those who raise concerns about heat, rust, and the general aesthetics of such homes?
All right. So let me start from the aesthetics. When done properly, if you are into the symmetrical designs, because that's one of the drawbacks with container homes. If you want more curves and bends, it is not for you because the containers are very symmetrical.
Yes.
Right? So once you're into that square edge, very symmetrical design, they can be very beautiful. Right? As I stated before, once installation is done, it will not be a problem. Because remember, these containers are the same containers that they ship chicken in. Is one of these containers floated up on our shores, and the Jamaican people seemed at the time not to care about the installation.
which was not advised, by the way, by the health authorities. Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And they, as you can see, they based on the installation that they placed in that container, the AC, the cooling mechanism wasn't working for a while, and it still kept the chicken frozen. So once proper installation is done, the temperature won't be a problem.
So if you don't have AC, you're in serious trouble.
No. Yeah, if once the installation is done, you'll be fine. You don't have to have AC.
So the heat bearing on that metal, you're saying you're fine in that enclosed environment?
With installation. If you don't have installation, you're going to be in trouble.
What would be the installation that would help to relieve?
What some companies do, they put a foam, then drywall. So the foam plus the drywall would absorb that heat and keep it away from the inside. Or some other thermal material. So it wouldn't allow the heat to pass through the steel and come in. Just like the timber frame roofing, you have the zinc on top, and then you have a level of drywall below it to seal the roof. That's the same technique they would use. As long as you seal the container, you should be fine. However, some other drawbacks with the container housing, why Lalace is not worried about it taking over, it's going to be very difficult for certain designs because it comes pre-designed, the main
in
structure.
Essence, yes.
Yes. And it's going to be also difficult to get permits for certain structures. Yes.
Why the difficulty in that regard?
All right. So when you're building from the ground up, you can determine the strength of the structure pretty easily. I can put in X amount of blocks, X amount of columns, steel, so on and so forth. But when the main structure is coming with its own strength and design already built in, it's pretty difficult to build it up to code for certain areas, and the parish council will not pass it for certain things.
Okay. So, go ahead, Sam. Sorry, I thought you were
so we wouldn't. I wouldn't think. I don't want to get in trouble now. I wouldn't think that the parish council would sign off on a 5-story container building. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and the rust factor. Anything you want to say on that?
All right, the rust factor. We use steel in construction all the time. So
not exposed to the elements, though. That's normally put into
that's different.
Yes,
it's not exposed to the elements.
Yes.
Now these container houses are going more than likely need more painting than regular buildings. So in the United States and parts of the developed world, especially buildings that are going to be close to sea water, they coat the steels that are going to go on the inside of the cement in epoxy. So it forms a barrier around the steel. Now, we could use oil paints and red oxide plus oil paint to keep the rust away. But as I'm saying, it's going to need more maintenance than a traditional block and steel building. Because if you notice, for example, almost every time you see a cruise ship dock, they're painting it.
Yeah.
And that is to keep the rust away.
Yes.
I don't think you would have to paint the container building that often. But
more regularly than the regular
more
houses.
regularly than the average. Average. Because once you see those rust spots starting to come up, you will have to tackle them because you'll have a big problem down the line.
Yeah, interesting. There are persons who, report that during Hurricane Melissa, they saw containers actually floating in the storm, and they're floating by. So those who are advocating for this, how do you think they should and could respond in support of their view that this could be a quick fix for a long term?
A quick fix. All right. So, my understanding of what's going on, it's supposed to be a temporary fix, just to get the people some shelter. However, we can get very innovative in construction in terms of anchoring.
How is that done?
All right. You have. So for some, what they would do is they would make concrete posts along the base of the container, and then use then bolt it down to the concrete structure.
Okay.
Another way is you can actually build it into the foundation. So to prevent it from just floating or rolling away. So I am not too worried about the floating. And then again, for the areas where the containers would even float, you shouldn't even have a permanent structure there. If you have flood prone areas, I as a person in construction, I would not recommend that people build their homes there. It's one thing to build your business space on the beach side, because you might have business where you sell fish or whatever it is. It's one thing to build your business place on the seaside and you can go home to your safe haven. And yes, you might lose some things from the business, but you can rebuild. But it's the next thing to lose your home and have nowhere to go. So the people that are concerned with the containers floating, that's a next place where even the parish council would come in and say, we're not going to give a permit for container houses there because it is a potential hazard.
Yeah. In a recent Gleaner article entitled Container Homes Proposed as Quick Fix for Hurricane Homelessness, mention was made of installing as many as 300 homes on a 5-acre plot. Is that realistic, Courtney Francis?
It is very realistic. Because they don't take up a lot of space. But with my own bias,
which is what?
I don't think I'd want to see so much of them in one place.
Why not?
I don't think, because I'm a man that is always thinking about the forward movement of my country. And you hear all the time in America where they talk about the trailer park homes, right?
Yeah.
And I've never heard a positive story come from out of that setting. And whereas if it's a temporary thing, fine. I understand it. We need to give our brothers and sisters some shelter and they need to get it fast. But if it's going to be a long-term solution, I am very hesitant. Very hesitant.
Are there concerns, you think, in terms of resale and legacy value in regards to these retrofitted homes?
Well, the truth is, it is not a big concern because you wouldn't be paying market value for an average house, for a container house.
Mm.
So you might not have a great increase in or appreciation of the property, but you wouldn't be investing a lot of money to begin with. I am thinking that once you have people that can afford it, they will not be buying necessarily container home.
Mm.
They'll be just building their structure the traditional way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they would have a market. It's just not for the man that has a lot of a disposable income, and this is going to be his main house. I can see people fixing up one real nice and putting it in their backyard as a little chill area.
Yes.
But the man of means will not be looking, and the man that is trying to look like he's of means will not be necessarily looking that way.
Yes. So if I'm hearing it clearly, Courtney Francis, in terms of the quick fix, you see
It
this.
is a brilliant idea in terms of
What happens after the quick fix though? You have all of these, thousands of these retrofitted homes. What do we do with them? Because
that's a good question. That's why I'm saying, like, to have one place with so many, I don't like the idea, but at the same time you have to give the people quick housing. If it's going to be set up where the government can have proper storage for these units and maintain them for times like this, and they can be rolled out in times of need.
For future disasters.
Yes. And to tell you the truth, I don't even want my country to be in a space where we have to have these things in bulk on standby to help out people. I want us to build our homes according to code in safe areas.
Yes.
Because a lot of what has happened to Black River, some man come do a thing.
Okay.
The construction is not up to code. There was no civil engineer involved. Someone, when you do a thing, come together and build it. And we need to get away from that. We need to consult with the parish council. Parish council is not our enemy.
Right.
They are there to guide and protect us.
Got to leave it there.
Yes.
Yeah, so we need to do due diligence. Well said, Courtney Francis. Really appreciate your being with us this morning. Have a safe, productive day, my brother.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Great. Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Eternal Father.
Right now, our brothers and sisters in Western Jamaica are hurting. Homes have been destroyed. Families are struggling to start again after Hurricane Melissa.
Love 101 FM, the family station, is calling on you to join hearts and hands in love in action.
You can make a difference today by donating cash or kind to help rebuild lives.
We're collecting non-perishable food items,
Bottled water,
baby supplies,
hygiene products,
toiletries,
cleaning supplies,
bedding, tarpaulins, and small household items.
Drop off your donations of cash and kind at Love 101 FM or participating partner churches island-wide.
Every can, every package, every dollar helps bring hope to the hurting. Together, we are Love in Action. Love 101 FM,
the family station.
Start your journey with a JN Small Business Loan with small business loans as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million. The time by JN Small Business Loan is
7:30 a.m.
This is a national call for nurse volunteers. Jamaica must recover after Hurricane Melissa. Our communities must heal. If you're a licensed registered nurse, enrolled assistant nurse, or registered midwife, your skills can make a life-saving difference. Join the recovery effort. Contact the Health Emergency Operations Center at 8881-LOVE. That's 888-6653, or visit moh.gov.jm to sign up today. Let's heal together. Let's rebuild together. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
When we started this company, we were focused on helping people find their way. And when it comes to critical illness and life insurance, we're all about helping people find a way to live more. Like our JN Life Aid that covers your first diagnosis and is there in case of a second occurrence. That's how much we're invested in you living your life. Welcome to the art of living insurance from JN Life.
Eternal Father.
Right.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now have a look at some news headlines to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. The island's third field hospital to be established at Savannah Lamar Hospital in Westmoreland on Thursday. Also, government considering use of overnight curfews to help reduce traffic congestion on roadways leading to parishes worst affected by Hurricane Melissa. 526 schools reopened following the passage of the hurricane, and over 226 million in credit card donations received via the Support Jamaica portal. We also seen here that Sangster International Airport, among areas in St. James, reconnected to the JPS grid, and KSAMC to scale down Christmas celebrations this year. Those are some of the major headlines in our newspapers. You know, coming up next, we'll share some of the feedback from our social media question. What are your thoughts on the idea of using container homes as a solution for hurricane homelessness? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. Soon come back.
Something big is coming this Christmas.
2 cities, 2 days. One unforgettable experience.
Mark your calendars. Saturday, December 13th and
Saturday, December 20, 2025. The magic of the season is about to hit Jamaica like never before. Where will it be? Who will be there? Stay tuned.
Because season splendor is coming and you don't want to miss it.
Season splendor. The countdown begins.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habashko. Get it on Habashko. Bashko. For everything where you need. Bashko. Quality service guaranteed and Habashko. Get it on Habashko that gives you more. Yeah, Bashko. Get furniture for your house, then linen everything for your kitchen, rocks, mugs and more at Bashko. The store that gives you more. Bashko.
On the next episode of The Mailbox, we'll be talking about the resilient man. The making of a resilient man is a journey shaped by his experiences, challenges, and choices. He's able to navigate tough times and come out stronger, building a support network and finding healthy ways to deal with stress and emotions. You are invited to join the conversation with our guest, Mr. Tafari Reed, pastor at Mitchelltown and Portland Cottage New Testament Church of God, as he shares on moving from the past and looking to the future. That's Wednesday, November 12th at 5:30 p.m. only on the family station, Love 101, The Mailbox, Monday.
He go preach the word, preach it up like a storm, anoint it from him.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Jukal for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answer today's question. What are your thoughts on the idea of using container homes as a solution for hurricane homelessness? Jukal.
All right, so we have some responses here. Diva Oakley says the container homes are very possible as there are businesses using them for years. When retrofitted properly, design and maintenance, years of living. Let's go to Monica. Monica says, I think it's a good idea for the short immediate term, or short term rather. For the long term, one needs to ensure that they have securely grounded, elevated foundation. All right, thank you so much. Let's go to James from Brooklyn. Let me hear from him.
Good morning, my brother. So my only concern with those container houses concerned is that for the wind, they should be okay. But if people is going to buy those container and just put them anywhere without having a proper foundation, putting them firm and solid, then when the flood come, they won't be safe anymore, because the water will definitely move them. And if you're locking those container and water come and just push away, then it's a possibility you might lose more life in those container than even the ordinary houses. You understand? So it's like a 50-50, 6 or 1 half plus the other. They might be firm and solid for the wind, but we have to also consider the water. So whoever is selling those container houses have to ensure that people who are buying them have safe land to put them, proper foundation, they are set and put down properly according to the rules of how they are supposed to be banned down, and then that way we can rest for sure that people's life will be safe in those containers. Otherwise, it's going to be more disaster. And that is just my input.
All right, thank you so much, James. The final one comes to us from Edna. Let me hear from her.
Good morning, Love 101 listeners and staff. Yes, I think the container homes, that is a good venture. I don't think for permanently right now. I wouldn't bet on that, but I would say temporarily. Yeah, man, just to get the people them somewhere, having something over their head, but most of the area will have to be clean and clear for people you can drop a container there. You understand? But I think it's a good venture. For the future, it could be permanent. I don't know about the structure of it right now, so I can't say 100% that it can be permanent, but temporarily now, it's a good venture. If I had the money, I'd truly invest some to the people, them donate it. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Those are our responses for this morning.
Okay, interesting. Thank you, Jukal, and thanks to those who responded. As we now segue into the second watch, following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa, many Jamaicans are now facing property losses that could reach up to US $4 billion. That's with a B. And that's according to a recent Gleaner report. And this raises serious questions about the role and accessibility of property insurance. How well are property owners protected, and how can we strengthen coverage and disaster readiness in the future? Well, to discuss this, we are joined by Peter Levy, Director and Head of British Caribbean Insurance Company, BCIC. Good morning to you, Mr. Levy.
Good morning.
Yes, good to have you with us, sir. I know we're supposed to be talking about the insurance aspect in full, but a while ago we were just talking about retrofitted container homes. Does your company ever insure those homes?
The demand is not very high. I don't know how many actually, how many there are being used as homes. Certainly, they are part of commercial insurance policies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not unusual at all. I've actually inspected some model units in the last year or so, and we're very prepared to. These things, they're engineering tests which can address how wind resistant they are, so that we can have a fair level of confidence in respect of what risk they present. And once it's safe, if it's safe enough for people to live there, then I'm pretty confident that
you can cover it.
Provide insurance for it. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, we're talking about property insurance. For the record, what really constitutes property insurance? Is it only about buildings?
No, it's buildings and content.
Mm-hmm.
And even for businesses, what they call business interruption or loss of profit is part of what happens when you have if your machinery or your building gets destroyed, you can't operate. So, but for most people, it's going to be the buildings and then contents as well, whether it's household contents or stock for a workplace or machinery, etc.
And it comes all under the umbrella of property.
Yeah, in short, yeah, it's real property, personal property.
Yes,
all of those things.
Yes. Now, as far as you're aware, Peter Levy, what is the present status of property insurance in Jamaica, whether anecdotally or statistically?
Well, we know the penetration of insurance generally, other than motor insurance, is very low. In other words, percentage of people, of property owners who actually have insurance isn't as high as we'd like it to be. Every home that has a mortgage or every business where there's a bank loan, the lender ensures that there's insurance to protect the security of the loan.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, there are tens of thousands of properties where the mortgage is paid off, or and there's no financial institution involved, and the tendency for people, regrettably, is to consider the insurance premium. It's the last on the priority list when they're looking at how they're going to spend their money, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So any figure though? I mean, how much percentage of Jamaican properties you think? Any idea?
Yeah, I know the Insurance Association has those figures. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I do know that
it's low.
Even for the region, Jamaica is one of the lowest in terms of penetration.
How do insurance companies like yours manage to insure many properties and yet are obligated to honor legitimate claims when natural disasters occur?
So all the insurance companies in Jamaica for property insurance, we rely heavily on what we call reinsurance, which is essentially a type of insurance that we buy to protect against an event such as this, where you have...
Tell you what, Mr. Levy, I'm so sorry. We're up on a break. Hold that thought. We want to hear more on it. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets. The time by Grace Good Move is
7:45.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and it's the second watch. We're looking on post-hurricane concerns regarding property insurance. In so doing, we have online Peter Levy. He's the director and head of BCIC, that's British Caribbean Insurance Company. Before the break, I had asked you, Peter Levy, how do insurance companies like yours manage to insure many properties and yet are obligated to honor legitimate claims when natural disasters occur? You were saying.
Okay, so I was saying we use something called reinsurance, which is just a form of insurance that insurance companies buy.
Mm-hmm.
And just like how the homeowner transfers his risk to the insurance company by paying a premium, and the insurance company collects premiums from all the homes and pays the losses out of that collection of premiums.
Mm-hmm.
We deal with international companies who take risk from all over the world. And of course, the volume of premium that they collect is very much higher than we generate in Jamaica alone. And so we're spreading the risk across global reinsurers.
Mm-hmm. So with a hurricane like Melissa, how in terms of the coverage, do you think Jamaica insurance companies can cover the losses?
Yeah, I have no reservations about the strength of the insurance companies locally and their reinsurance arrangements. The insurers will definitely pick up the majority of the losses as a result of Melissa. In particular, for catastrophes, reinsurance is the way that we cope with that kind of extraordinary amount of risk.
Yes. How is property value determined and standardized? Duly considering that there's some amount of variation among valuators.
Yeah. So for insurance purposes, what we're concerned about is the cost of rebuilding in the case of a building, or replacing in the case of contents and stock, etc. So we're not talking about market factors such as the location. The land is not a part of the calculation for insurance purposes. It's just the buildings and contents.
Oh, land is not considered. Let's get that clear. Land is not factored in that.
No.
Oh. Okay.
So usually,
I'm sorry, Mr. Lee. What about location? Because one of the things about real estate here is that there are three main things: location. How does that not factor in it?
So that generally applies in respect of the kind of market value or desirability of a piece of real estate, but it usually doesn't have a big impact on the cost of building there. You will, if you have a remote location where transportation is more expensive, etc., you might have some variations in the building costs, but much less so than the variations between a half acre of land in Norbrook versus a half acre of land in Vineyard Town versus a half acre of land in Old Harbour, for instance. Those variations would be much bigger because of market forces.
Mm-hmm. But there are variations even in the same location. In fact, are there not cases where two valuators have valued the same property and you get a disparity in terms of the amount?
Well, as I say, that's much more likely to arise. That kind of variation is much more likely to arise when you're calculating the market value. But the building cost is effectively a very objective thing. It's the cost of materials, the cost of labor, and there's usually an amount per square foot that is used. So it's not usual to have significant differences between different valuators on that. And we also rely on the Institute of Engineers, quantity surveyors, and so on to calculate those, how much per square foot. So it's a fairly objective and definite measure.
Okay. Those who have suffered much damage from Hurricane Melissa, when they now go, if they make claims to insurance companies, they may come upon the phrase average clause, which came, I think, into great existence, or not existence, but in terms of being highlighted in Jamaica after Hurricane Gilbert. Can you remind us what average clause is and how fair is it really?
So I'll explain what it is first of all. The average clause effectively says that the amount that you receive in respect of your claim is proportionate to the insurance coverage that you have relative to the value at risk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll explain by way of an example. So if you have a house insured where the building is insured for 10 million and the replacement cost of rebuilding that building is 15 million, then your insurance is 2/3 of the value. And if you have a claim for 5 million, you'll get 2/3 of the 5 million. as a result of that. The fairness comes in when if you think about the person who insured for the full 15 million, that person paid the right premium for full coverage for his building.
Mm-hmm.
He has contributed to that fund that is used to pay the claims
Mm-hmm.
to the extent that his risk requires. If somebody insures for 10 million and then contributes 2/3 of the amount of premium, it wouldn't really be fair to the first guy if both of them receive the same amount of claim. So what that means is at the end of the day that the policyholder needs to make sure that they are looking at that value periodically. Not every year, because the change in building costs is, probably maybe 5% a year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a 15% buffer, so that if you're within 15% of the full value, there's no penalty. There's no reduction.
Okay.
So every 3 years or so, policyholders should be looking at that and seeing whether or not they need to adjust the value on the policy to reflect the change in the actual value of the property.
So am I hearing it clearly that, for example, if you insure a property for this year, if you don't want to do it annually, you could wait until 3 years after to do another evaluation?
Yeah, generally speaking, 3 years would be you wouldn't be at risk if you did it every 3 years.
But there are persons who are saying that on an annual basis, I mean, the cost of properties, especially home properties, rise astronomically.
But as I say, the difference between rebuilding costs and market value is
you're back to market value. Okay.
Right. So
okay.
So the rebuilding costs really, they don't adjust that much. It pretty much runs at the rate of inflation generally, which is around 5% recently.
Mm.
So it's not the same kind of escalation that you see in market values for real estate.
Yeah, hearing you. What are your major concerns, Peter Levy, and perhaps major challenges that you foresee in regards to what has happened in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa with property insurance?
But the entire insurance industry has been kind of ringing the alarm in respect of the underinsurance, which is what gives rise to that the application of average. The tendency of the general tendency of people to not revise their values and keep it up with inflation, thereby reducing the amount that they can get in the event of a loss. And it's when you spread that on an individual, you have an individual fire, then there's one person who bears that cost. But when you spread it across a catastrophe like this, it's an impediment to the ability to rebuild and the available resources to rebuild in a way that potentially affects the economy as a whole. So we've been raising the alarm around that. In August, there was a headline in one of the daily papers that referred to the underinsurance time bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, and this came out of an interview that members of the Insurance Association did with that paper.
Yeah, I read
and
that.
at the time, it might have seemed sensational.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't know at the time that it was, in fact, going to be prophetic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a major concern that we've been trying to address. I think one of the things that we need to do going forward is we need to improve the level of communication. We need to speak in as plain terms as possible so that people understand the implications of the decisions that they're making. And we need to make it easier for people to do the right thing, as an industry. So those are some of the things that I think we need to take away from this.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering, the general thought, approach, in regards to property insurance, that some people seem to think that it's unfair that they will be paying the premium every year. Nothing happens, and yet still they don't seem to get anything back in return.
Yeah.
How would you look at that sentiment?
The truth of the matter is, it's not a savings plan. You're converting the potential of a major expense into a smaller but regular payment. And when if you were a rich person or a celebrity and you had a bodyguard, you wouldn't expect that the bodyguard would pay you back the salary that you paid him because you hadn't had anybody try to attack you after a few years. You know what I mean? It's like you paid for security, and that person provided that security, and every year you negotiate again and you come to an arrangement. So that's the way that I just think people look at it as if it's a savings or a partner type arrangement, but it's not that. And so, if you haven't gotten anything back from an insurance policy, that means you've been spared any significant unfortunate event. That's something for which you probably should be grateful.
I like the bodyguard illustration that you gave. It's powerful. But is there anything at all that could be given back to the insurers? they have to the clients?
I know that the individual insurance companies are, especially in this post-Melissa situation, are trying to do a lot to help not just their customers, but helping the wider relief efforts. There are initiatives, there are collection drives for donations from the staff. There are direct donations from the insurance companies into the relief organizations. Our as kind of corporate citizens, but also as people to whom the society looks in a time of catastrophe, I think we feel
I got to leave it there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
got to leave it there. Thank you so much, Peter Levy, Director and Head of BCIC. Have a safe, productive day, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Great. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we continue to set the stage for a discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information, how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-959627. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Yashika Nevers, and our guests. I'm Dylan Toussaint, returning you to Love in the Morning with Jukal Dyer.